Hi everyone, it's me, Lori-Lynn, and welcome to my channel. Thank you very much if you're a returning member of this channel, and if you're new, welcome. It's always a pleasure. My goal is always to reach as many individuals as possible, because what I've been led to do is called a journey of the soul, and that soul is typically on an individual basis, and then I end each group's reading with a relationship reading. And that could be any sort of relationship that you focus your mind on. So choose whether through intuition, through feelings, through whatever it is, pile number 1, 2, or 3. And I'm going to roll the dice in front, and then I'll put them in front and also let you know what the numbers are that coincide. Very interesting. Okay, so pile number 1 is I believe it's a blue orb, calcite, and of course I can make it into a heart, because anything can be made into a heart, and it comes with the number 8. And if you've listened to my readings before, the number 8 is the number of wisdom. It's taking that knowledge and applying it with experience, and that brings us to a place of wisdom. Pile number 2 is the amethyst rock. Amethyst is quite plentiful around my area, so you can go to a lot of places and find it. It's gorgeous. And that comes with the number 6. And the number 6 is the number of love. Spirit just said there's within this pile, so just beware now, because I'm just warning you. Spirit just said there's a few complications when it comes to love, and so there'll just bear that in mind, or keep that in mind as you're picking. And pile number 3 is the clear crystal, or not so clear crystal heart, and that is my favorite stone. Again, if you've been on my channel, you know that, because I collect hearts, and it comes with the number 9. And so the number of 9 is usually the number of coming together. It's like 3 threes, so it's like everything equals out and balances. So if you're in a place where you're needing to balance what's going on, that may be the number for you. Okay, so again, pile number 1, the blue stone, and the number 8. Pile number 2 is the amethyst with the number 6, and pile number 3 is the 9 with the heart, with the quartz. And I'll be using for the first part of the reading, where you are at, I will be using the tarot for today and the Osho meditation deck. And I have to write these down. I'm sorry, 6 and 9. And then for the relationship reading, I'm going to use the relationship cards, the HermitTarot, and the Wise Women's deck. Okay, so take a moment to choose your pile, and in the meantime, I'm going to put pile 2 there, pile 3, and keep out pile number 1. So hello, pile number 1, hello. And this is this incredibly beautiful stone. It is so heavy, and it's so beautiful that I love it. And it's a heart. As I said, I can make anything into a heart. And it comes with the number 8. So your beginning of your journey at this point is really learning to apply what you need at this point. And so we're going to find out what you need to apply into your life, and how to go about balancing, maybe give you some tools and ideas. As a reader, I just channel messages through spirit, so I connect. We have an 8 star, so I connect my 8 star all the way down, and I can just do it by snapping my fingers, and I grounds myself so that I can bring the connection as to flow right up to the divine. And so that's what I do. And so I just need to breathe for a second, because I'm having problems breathing at this moment. So there's something that within you that is wearing you out. Like there's some sort of exhaustion. I'm not sure what the issue's over, but it could be a combination of issues of just like, you know what, I am really, really exhausted. So I need to find my breath again. And it could be that I need to find my passion again. So maybe that's a part of it. You may have either stepped away from your passion, or you may have, well, you could have maybe even denied your passion. But I think that you're needing to connect to that passion to give yourself that energy that's necessary to move you forward in your journey. Okay. And so the first card that comes out is the card in the position of what are you suppressing? And so the first card that comes out is the Ace of Pentacles, which is an earth sign. So this is saying is that where the issue, I don't want to do it at the same time, where the issue lies at this point for you is that you know that you can manifest, you know that the money's available, or it could be available, that you can make, but you are actually blocking that. There's something within you that is saying to you that either, you know, money doesn't make the man. You may have heard a lot of money stories, thinking that if you're, you know, you have too much money, that you're a certain way. It may just be part of the culture of how you were brought up. But what you need to do at this point, because you're suppressing that money that's literally being offered to you from Spirit. And so Spirit is saying, I'm handing this to you. You need to be open to it. You need to be open to it so you can walk through into the life that you so want to have. And the other interesting parts about it is if you, okay, this is about giving gratitude for even the little things. And I know that this is also a lesson that I'm having to deal with that I wasn't really aware of. And it's kind of a family thing. I'm saying that right, kind of, because we always want to do it by ourselves. You know, I can do it by myself. It's okay. I don't need help. And this is about saying, giving gratitude. So, you know, someone says, oh, can I give you a hand? Or, you know, I'm going to buy you this, or doing something. There's a level of pride that's within you that may be stopping from you from allowing that abundance, those gifts to come your way. So instead of, you know, blocking it, you need to open up completely and be really grateful for all that's being offered to you. So that's the part of it. But once you open that up, there is so much beauty and growth on the other side of that. Okay, so the two cards that balance this, that can bring this into balance itself, yin and the yang, okay. The two cards are postponement and understanding. And I want to clarify, I don't know if it's clarify, but pull two from a tarot deck at the same time. And that is, yeah, okay, the Five of Swords. Ooh, and the Two of Cups. Very interesting in itself. And so the card of the postponement really means that you're putting off what you know. You can clearly see. You have to envision. You know what you want. You know where you want to go. But you're right now not allowing it to happen. Now, in this picture, there is the color, and then there's the black and white. And if you notice the person standing there, there is part of color that's kind of seeping up. So you are in, I'm saying, on the road of change for that. And balancing that is the card of understanding. And I honestly, I think that this is in regards to a connection that there has been a lot of misunderstandings. And with those misunderstandings, that's why you've blocked, because I believe that there might be a sense of unworthiness within you. And so, and that's where the giving gratitude is really important, because you may feel that when I said, you know, sometimes that people will offer you things and you know, hesitate to, because you want to do it on your own, or you're not used to receiving things. And just be grateful that they are, because there is a reason for it. And whatever that reason is, it doesn't really matter. I'm not saying it doesn't really matter, but it, at this point for you, it doesn't matter. You just need to learn to be grateful and open to it, because there's also this level of understanding is that right now you have, as I said, you have all these incredibly great ideas, and you know the pathway, you just aren't sure how to get there, and the way there is through gratitude and opening your heart. So there's also a level of understanding that, and this, it's the card of, well, you'd see that because there's doves, peace. And wow, okay, sorry, you have to give me a second there. There is a level of peace here, but this is also in regards to a relationship, a committed relationship, or a relationship that's should be committed, and one side or both sides just really what they want and what they can see, but they're not understanding how to get it. But I don't think that's you. I think that's on the other side, the masculine side, and they are working towards building up their courage. And the card that comes up in that position is the Five of Swords. And now what the most important thing is about the Five of Swords is, when I was talking about that, you know, people giving you things, well, you know, they've tried, this is how they're feeling, is that they've tried and there's been an unresponsiveness. So it's basically, you're pushing people away rather than bringing them into your life. So it's a change of perspective within your values, within you want to be. What you want to do is, what Spirit's saying is that you need to mentally align what you want, where you're going, and how to do it. But you also, that it requires you to see what's been holding you back. It requires you to do some more work, okay? Because the card of understanding and then coming forward, that next offering that's coming your way may be an offering of a commitment. And this commitment is a beautiful, strong, unified commitment. And so you need to be open, so that it's almost like taking like little bites of, you know, my crazy analogies, little bites of a chocolate bar until you're secure, and then you can have a big bite of a chocolate bar. I know that's a ridiculous analogy, but that's what it's about. So because you're learning at this process, at this point in your life, of how to accept, to give gratitude, to not to step outside your ego. Like, I do believe with this, the Ace of Pentacles, it's really sitting in your ego. And so what's the postponement comes from fear. It's very fear-based. And the meditation card that comes next is the, well, here we go, the Queen of Pentacles. And so this is all about, you know, monetary. This is all about, what are you valuing? What do you truly, honestly value? And so you need to sit into, as you sit in the position of meditation, you need to decipher what your values are, what you really want, where you're going, and how you can get there. And you have to almost be able to see that. There is a sense of just the way she's looking at this pentacle. Okay, Spirit saying something along the lines of, there's an easy road and there's a difficult road, and for some reason you've been taking the difficult road, and this is leading to a lot of stress within your life, because you're not, it's almost like you're trying to please so many people. Well, really is the who you need to please right now is yourself. And I had said about ego, it's rather ego-based. Within this card of stress, it's the monkey's going to pop the balloon. So you're constantly, you think everything's going to end, or everything's going to, or come to an end, because somebody is always there to burst your bubble. And so what you need to do is meditate on this fact of, you're grateful for, of what you have, you're grateful for the lessons that you've learned, and the path that you've taken, your journey up until now. So this is a lot about gratitude. So if you look back and you see all that you've received, you'll start being open to it more. I know this is something that I'm quite still working through, because people tend to like to give me things, and I'm often feeling, am I worthy enough to, you know, receive this? And the answer is always yes. Okay, so the next three cards are the cards of your heart, your mind, and your your body, your mind, and your heart. So the first card, wow, that comes up in the position of your body, and it's the Page of Cups. And in that position, it's saying, again, this is so much about you in a place of opening up. You need to clear your chakras. You need to align with the divine. You need to align your chakras and ground yourself into the earth, so that you're making decisions in the moment, because you have this person that so wants to come forward, but your energy is blocking them away, so they still have that fear. So they really do want to, they want to offer that to you. And I've never really seen this card as well as I have here. But if you look at it, and I kind of always thought that was water coming out of it, but it's a fish. It's a little fish that's coming out. So that is this Page of Cups, which comes forward with love. Part of their offering is they want to support you as well. And so that's their, hey, this is what I have. So, you know, they're very much, and I'm not saying want to impress you, but they do. That's the realities. They do want to impress you. And maybe that's because they, you know, haven't been so impressive lately, or maybe it's just been your aura that's been there and they haven't been able to, but they're ready. They have, so this person was very, at some point, they're not quite as mature as you are, am I going to say? Yeah, I am going to say that. They're not quite as mature, or perhaps that's how they see it. They don't see themselves quite as suave. I don't think that's a word, but it's my new word. They don't think they're quite as suave, or they don't have all of that, what you deserve, what they believe or think that you deserve. And so that's where you have to open up, so they become aware that you are open to them. Okay, so the next card in position of your noggin, your thoughts, and this is, wow, an incredible card, and a very, first time I've seen this card come out with this deck, and there's actually so much going on. But first of all, I'll show it to you. It's the Death card, and this is the card in regards to your head. And first thing that Spirit said, this is about perspective, and so how you're seeing things. And when you're looking at this, you'll see there are the things that are in the past here are no longer, I was going to say alive, but no longer an influence on your mind. And these forward, it's your choice. You get to now choose to change your perspective and be that person that you want to be. And in the background, you can see the sun coming up. So the sun will come up, but the sun's going to come up when your thoughts that create, that make things, when your thoughts become that positive, moving forward, being able to see the sunshine, be able to see the sunrise. Just a little off note of this is that, so our third eye is here, which most people know. And so hear lots about opening up your third eye. And there's a couple ways, but one, I've always done this, and very, very lightly. And I'll knock on there, and I will, it opens up my third eye. Another way of, excuse me, of doing it, I should not be tired, but I am, so I apologize, is sitting and watching a sunset every day. And I think it's 3 minutes. I would do it for longer, but just watching the sunset. Sun has always energized me and rejuvenated, because energy is always interchangeable and changeable, so that energy can bring you new perspective. So that's what it's about within your mind, is creating a new perspective. So the old perspective is left behind, and it's almost left behind completely, because it's not something that serves you. It's not something, it's not who you know, it's not who you know, it's no longer who you are. And it's a major, major lesson for you to turn that page on where you were to this new place or person that you want to be. So the next card in regards to, there's this offering again, and it's Pentacles. And so this is the Page of Pentacles, and this is in regards to the heart. So on both sides of, you know, the card in regards to your body is the Page of Cups, and in regards to your heart is the Page of Pentacles. And that to me is a masculine energy. Pages I see as a feminine side, but that's here nor there, and everybody's different. But what I'm understanding from this is that this person, although they do want to offer you this love, they also want you to be proud of them, because they want, it's almost like they hold you on a pedestal to some degree, and by holding you on that pedestal, they want to be able to give to you what it is that you most need. So in some manners of, you know, being able to ensure that they are enough, just who they are is enough, if somehow you can kind of intertwine that into it, that's going to be a game breaker. But the work for you to do is to really define what you are, where you are, and see, and you know, just start getting rid of baggage. Start giving gratitude. Gratitude, if there's a word that you need to take with you today, the word is gratitude. So take that with you and start being grateful. Start seeing it differently. Not that somebody thinks that, oh, you can't get it yourself, or you can't do it yourself, but what they're saying is that we want to help you. People want to help, and it's not always for the reasons that we think it is. So open your heart to that, and so much more is going to flow within you. So work on that, opening your heart, and that is through meditation. That's through listening to, you know, different types of meditations, or just listening to some calming music, and envisioning, you know, all the things that you really want, and envisioning yourself opening up your heart and receiving, okay? So wow, the card in the final position of pile number 3 is the High Priestess. And that's hugely important, and that's like a high card for anybody at this point, but it's a high card saying that from all of this journey forward, because you're getting rid of so much that just has been, you know, weighing you down, has been so stressful, but as you release the stress and your perspective changes, you start relying on your intuition, your wisdom, because this is about divine wisdom. So it's meaning, when divine wisdom comes, it means that you've gained the knowledge. Now you have to put it into play. And the High Priestess relies on her intuition. She knows just where to go, what to do, how to do it. So it really is so much about you listening and following your intuitions. That's the change in the perspective. If it doesn't feel right, it's not a good idea. I used to say to the kids, if it doesn't seem like a good idea, it's probably not a good idea. But then, and that's where I'm going to say, and really put this out there, but it is true, there's a difference between followers and leaders. And some will, you know, follow because they want to be the part of the pack, and others will be a leader and just say, no, that's just not what I want. That's not how I want people to identify me with. I have my own set of values, rules, and I need to listen to my intuition. I need to follow what's right. And I have my own pathway, and I'm going to continue along that pathway. Okay, and so the card that, wow, that goes along with that is the card of trust. So that's actually pretty amazing. And so I believe where the trust comes in, because you're doing this perspective change. And as you're doing this perspective change, as soon as we kind of walk outside of our boundaries or where we are, it's pretty scary. That comfort zone is called a comfort zone for a reason, but stepping outside of that comfort zone can be so scary. And so that's what you're learning to do, is stepping outside of the comfort zone. And you have to trust that. Trust your intuition. Know that the answers are coming to you as they should, or, you know, even the questions, but everything's aligning up right now. And so you're needing to, So this is sort of what they're doing. It's sort of like a stack of spirits. They're kind of being silly right now, sorry. But what they're doing is they are actually lining up as in dominoes. So it's like one next, and they think it's rather amusing. And so, but they're doing it absolutely sequentially, so they can trust that when this one falls, it hits the next one and keeps going, but that you're always going to be caught by that person that's next. It's a very weird analogy, but that is exactly what they showed me. So this is much about, you know, understanding. It's about trusting, and it's about taking that opportunity, taking that step, being the person that you can be, getting what you want, giving gratitude for all that you know, have, all that you are, and excuse me, and all that you want to be. Okay, so that's where you're at right now within the connection. And so we're going to pull just 2 cards from the Romance Angel cards. And one card's going to be, this will, upside down, is the feminine side. And the second side will be the masculine side, okay? So on the feminine side is codependency. And so the feminine side is, it doesn't mean one side's female or male. Feminine and masculine sides, it just may be a part of the masculine or the feminine side within each person. So the feminine side within this connection, take it as it resonates, is really about codependency. So what you're trying to do is sitting back and really trying to understand what is transpiring, because it's almost as though you're at a loss. So actually what Spirit just said is that you need to find something to not replace, because typically we replace one habit with another habit. It's the same thing. And so, you know, it could be, you know, getting a hobby, finding something, you know, new to, so you're not constantly thinking or having to. Codependency is often about their happiness is, you are reliant on their happiness, so you want to do things to make them happy. This isn't about this. This is for you to make yourself happy first, okay? On the masculine side, it's you deserve love. And so on the masculine side, on the masculine side, that masculine energy is unsure or unclear about, they just don't think that, like, they really have you on a pedestal. And what scares them the most within this relationship is that you have them on target, like, and that scares the bejesus out of them. And that is what they have to work on. That's not about you. So if you're thinking rejection or in some sort of way that those wordings, it's not about rejection. It's the fact that they don't believe that they themselves, they're rejecting themselves. So that's what they have to work on the masculine side. So the next 3 cards that I've picked up are from the Soulful Women's book. And the first card is my creative power. And that's to understand, as I invest in my own creative potential, I experience my feminine creative genius. And so this really does link itself to the codependency. And because when we become codependency, we are giving away our power. Our power is being relied on somebody else. Like, you feel good or you feel this or feel that because of the way they are feeling or how you think that they, you know, you are not responsible for anybody's happiness. You are not responsible for anybody's happiness but your own. You can do things that are wonderful, and you can also use your creativity to expand that potential and sort of, you know, back away and allow them to discover their truth, to discover that they do deserve love, and that it's just simply that you are the one for them. Whoa, okay, so right now within this relationship, there's something that's transpired, because the next card in the challenge position is anger as a sacred ally. And so something that may not have happened between you and them, but there may have been some anger that came up. And so when we become angry over a situation or something that's happened, it's to understand that we need to listen to the messages within our anger and use that as a positive force for growth. And so it's finding the good, and often it's not that easy to do, but you are being challenged to, you know, if you've heard something or seen something, but turn that around into something's good. And okay, so we're back to the gratitude. Service as a co-creation. And this is it's about giving and receiving, and doing it with, you know, a happiness as a, you know, we bring into our lives. It's creating that vibration that brings forth, because, you know, service, no matter how great or small, is a conscious act of co-creation with the universe. So it begins with being grateful. It's about seeing all the things and how can I, you know, make my world, my life, you know, better and more fruitful. And so part of that is a service, and seeing that by you giving, so much more opens up for you. And this is, I'm just getting such a feeling of such a dropping of energy within you. So it's almost this anger that is just like going to drop right out of you and flow out, because you're letting go of, you're taking this anger and you're making it as into a positive, so it's no longer sitting within. Okay, so messages from the messages from your person. And the first card is, I think so, yes. So they really do think about you often, and great. But the next card is, I'm too afraid to talk to you. And so that's what I was saying before about this rejection, and, you know, you deserving love, and you're actually being that, you know, pointing the arrow at them. And yet there's something that still stops them from bringing that love or giving that love back to you. The next card would be, I know you from somewhere. And this just says to me, this is the divine connection. And with the divine connection, sorry, this being a divine connection, it's almost going to be that it's inevitable that it's going to happen, but it doesn't always happen. Just because something's meant to be doesn't mean it always happens. You still have to make the effort, you have to make the movement, you have to make the decisions. And the final card, this is really cool, and I've never seen this before, and it says, please give me time. I've never felt this way before. And so I do think that, you know, you know them, that you've known them for quite some time, but they really do need some time to process, or they're working through time to process their life. Okay, so that's what I got for you for pile number 1. So I hope that's helped you out some. And so now I say welcome pile number 2. And if you're in pile number 2, you picked the Amethyst rock with the numero 6, which is the number of love. And so I'm expecting that there's going to be more in regards to love within this relationship. So, okay. First, we're going to find out what within your path, what are you suppressing? Oh, my Lord. Okay. And 2 cards come up. What are you suppressing? You're suppressing the 7 of Cups and the 9 of Swords. So these are the 2 cards that came out together, which is unusual. But here's the thing, it's your thoughts. And it's there's sleepless nights. There's constantly thinking about, you know, what did I do wrong? Did I make the right choices? 7 is the number of knowledge, and I also see the number as choices, yet there's always one choice that is, I'm going to say, the perfect choice, of the choice of, but you're really, and as much as they're trying to shine, but you're just finding ways to delay it, or to not have to make a, you know, movement forward, or, you know, to make decisions. Make a decision. So rather than, you know, being, having sleepless nights, make your decision and stick with it and abide by it. So the yin and yang cards, what balances one another, is very interesting, and it is action. Understanding the reason for your, the reason for your existence. So the card is of the 7 of Wands. And that's about, you know, Wands are about taking action. Wands are about growth. And this card is about learning. There's something about, I'm going to say, throwing back at, I don't know what that means, but if I can kind of figure it out. But it's being followed with the card of existence. And so I think the reason that these 2 cards are together is because I think you may be stuck in this energy here of sleepless nights. So it's almost like you have a lot of plans, but you're stuck in the planning stages. And yet you're still trying to understand your connection to here on this earth, here in, you know, what is my purpose? And maybe we should do a life's purpose reading. And what you want. And this is the card that typically is the soulmate card or twin flame card. And it's the card of, you know, celebration, joy, a commitment, a coming together. And so where, you know, sometimes when it's almost you have this very serious side, which is you've got these decisions, but you're not doing anything about it. You're trying to figure out what your purpose is, but you're not doing anything about it. Yet you're being told to just enjoy life, live for the moment. And in doing something, this is very much about celebration and what transpires when we become ourselves, when we truly, honestly live in the light of who we are, when we truly live in the light of, you know, the divine, of the creator. And we just sparkle when we're just filled with joy. And that's when we start bringing into our world, because our vibration changes so much. This is also a little bit about you making a wish, putting that wish out there, and trusting that it will be brought into existence. And so that action is super important rather than holding on. This is about taking action. So the cards that come up in the position of your meditation or thoughtful, wow, is the Queen of Swords. Again, now we're going on decisions. And so we're talking here about the Queen of Swords is, so you've got these action plans, or, you know, this action we have, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. So you have all these ideas. The Queen of Swords asks you or tells you, says to you, you know, come take my hand and we're going to find the truth of the situation. And no matter what the response is, or no matter what the reaction is, it's the truth. And so with that truth will bring you to the love, will bring you to where you want to be, will bring you to happiness. So it's sitting and really, really realizing what your truth is discovering all these things that keep your, you know, your mind at caught up at night, and, you know, causing those sleepless nights. And it's taking them one by one and asking yourself, is this a rational thought or is this an irrational thought? And with the Queen of Swords is now that you're being able to make the choices, is that now it's rather like the card of the hawk. It's understanding these higher perspectives, and it's understanding to see a broader picture of what you may be missing. Okay, and the next three cards here are your body, mind, and heart. And the position of your body is the Page of Swords. I believe it's in the last deck, this was the same. So the Page of Swords is, I do believe, it's in a completely different context as the last reading. And the Page of Swords is, pages are messengers, and being the Page of Swords is almost like you're being, in the beginning, it's going to be almost, say, the tiptoeing to the decisions, or just make the decisions and make a choice and do it. So it's taking that action. Sometimes it may be wrong, and that's okay. So you learn from that. You don't hold on to it. You don't have any more sleepless nights over it. You made the decision. You did it. You move forward. So the card that comes in the position of, my God, Wands, action, action, read all about it, is the Nine of Wands. And this is a really different depiction that I've ever seen. And that's part of the thing with new cards is that. And so what I'm understanding, like, these swords seems to be like you didn't take any action. And I think that there's a sadness. His head is bandaged, which is very interesting, being in the noggin position, because it's constantly where your actions are constantly being stopped by your thoughts. And so it's to not allow that and say, no, I can make a decision, and I get to choose. Interesting, the Chariot's in the next position. I get to choose which one I want to, but I'm going to choose that with fear, but I'm going to choose what I want rather than, you know, what other people have said, or however, you know, not the biggest one, maybe not the smallest, but just choose the one where the vibration, the energy meets your energy. So it is very much about taking action. But for some reason, I also feel that you're holding on to something that you need to really let go of. And this could, again, be part of this. This card of the sleepless nights. You could be holding on to something that you need to let go of, that one thing, to move forward. Because, excuse me, there's so much more opportunity that's within that. Maybe you work in a place where there's one person that's a pain in the butt, and it's just that one person. So if there's something you can do about that, then do that, but quit hanging on to that one piece, the piece that's maybe negative, or the piece that maybe drives you crazy, that keeps you awake at night. It's time for you. So the next card that comes up is the card within your heart, and it's the card of the Chariot. And sometimes we have to take those things into our own control. And it's time for you to take control of what you want in your heart, what you know you want in your heart. And that could be work, play, whatever, you know, retirement, after school, whatever it is. It's time for you to make the choices and realize that you can make this choice and then make another choice, but you are the one that gets to make all the choices on your own. And those choices, because of the Queen of Swords, comes from a place of honesty and love, and seeing so many, you know, different viewpoints, and then choosing the one that will best serve your path. And the final card in this part of the reading is the card of the Empress. And the Empress often represents a pregnancy or coming together, but it's just somebody that's more gentle, kind, can really create almost like the Magician. And I know people would say, no, it's the Emperor and the Empress, but almost like, but how she creates just is through her joy, through her beauty. It's like, you know, that person that good things just come to them, but that's their vibration. So that's where you're moving towards. You're trying to remove all those blocks and start making the plans and taking action upon those plans. Okay, so I hope that made sense, and we're going to move on to the next part of the reading, which is the romance part. And so what I'm doing is the first two cards are the feminine side and the masculine side. So the card on the feminine side is, ooh, passion. And I'll see about both of these. Okay. Very interesting two cards that came out together. And what is this? Okay. That's understandable. Okay. So here it is. The first card that comes up is the card of passion. So this relationship is filled with passion. And I think that's the part that may scare you or may scare them, because there is such a passionate, this is a very spiritual connection, but it is filled with passion, a lot of passion, okay? And understanding that this is passion is meant to change you. It's like I finally found the one. And the next two cards that came up together were children and new love. And so what I believe that this relationship started long ago. It could have been through past lives even, and you may have met. Okay, Spirit just said you made a pact that would allow you to meet at certain points in your life, but you'd only come, I know you want to hear this, you'll only come together once those needs, I don't like the word karma, but that's what you came here to do until that's been fulfilled. Okay, so there may have been karma that you've had to deal with, or they've had to deal with. And so as that comes up, this whole love, changes and becomes a new love. And Spirit just also said, this is a love that's going to, I'm not sure if you know about parallel, or understand about parallel relationships, but this relationship is, once you're together, is going to, across the lines of time, it's almost like a slingy, like it's a circular, all of that is going to be a straight line, because you're going to heal all of past relationships and relationships in the future. I know that sounds far-fetched, but we do live parallel existences. And that's up to you to believe it or allow it to resonate as it does. So this new love is a new perspective or a new presentation of that love. And the final card there is this card, give this relationship a chance. And so that's what all of these are asking you to do. So work on it and allow it the opportunity that it deserves. And so the next three cards are you know, what are your feelings towards this relationship, or what do you need to work on? And the first one card is the card of the path awareness. And so I think I said that this relationship needs to, you know, it was going to flourish once that you have let go of the, you know, some of the things that held you back. And so that is about a path awareness and understanding that you had to go through all of these lessons in order to be who you are today. Okay, so there is that's the first message. The second message is inner wellspring. And so understanding that within us all is this inner wellspring of love that flows and overflows with abundance. And it's just understanding that we are the creator, that we are and that's an overflowing of love, abundance, freedom, all of that. We just ooze that sort of, you know, vibrational energy. And the final cards that comes out in this section is the card of self-belief. And that probably is the kicker to it all, because of the pain or sorrow, whatever we, you know, had to deal with on that level. It's really, you had to do that so you could truly believe in yourself, and that you know that there is a purpose for your journey. And the self-belief, or believing in yourself, is the magic key that opens you up to a better, more inspirational future as each step you take forward, as you believe in yourself. Because if you believe in yourself, you take those chances, you make those opportunities, because you just believe it's going to be. Funny story is that I used to go with my sister way back when we could go shopping, and at Christmas time, and she used to drive around the parking lot, and then not forever and ever. It's kind of like we'd drive in, and she'd start to drive around, and then somebody would pull out in like the front row, and she just always believed that she would get front row parking, and she did. As silly as it sounds, but that's really what it's about, is just believing in yourself and believing that you're worthy of that parking spot opening up, believing that that job opportunity is going to be made available to you, believing that, you know, that person that you dream of you do deserve them, they do deserve you. We're all of equal uniqueness. So their messages to you, the first message they have is, let me have you. And that's pretty clear. And the second message they have is, I'm open to compromise. Third, bonus, can't imagine this coming out of a guy's masculine energy's mouth. You are right. So follow your intuition. That's where the High Priestess came in. And I don't think that's anymore. So I think that's those are the messages for pile number 2. And so thank you immensely for listening. And I hope I gave you some assistance along your journey and helped you in any way I could. Please like, subscribe, and any comments, just leave them in the comment section. That'd be great. Okay, so we're now moving to pile number 3, which is the Crystal Heart. Say it for the 15,000th time. That's my favorite. It is Crystal Heart with the number 9. Now the number 9 is about things coming to a close. So a certain period is coming to a close to move us forward. And so we're going to take this deck, and this is the Tarot for Today deck, and then the Osho meditation deck. So what are you suppressing with the Crystal Heart? Sorry, my nose is super itchy. Mom always says that means you're going to kiss a fool. So what are you suppressing? Whoa. Wow. This is going to be a really interesting card for me to interpret, because Spirit needs to really jump in here and give me a little bit of guidance. The first card that comes forth is card that you're suppressing, and it's the card of the Knight of Swords. So what this is saying is that I'm seeing or what I'm hearing is that there's this immaturity. There's also it's also a sense of fear, but it's almost like you're pushing that fear down rather than doing it, you know, with confidence and from a place of love. So what you're suppressing or holding back is taking action. Like you can make a decision, but fear just, you know, is on your face and, hey, should we put the brakes on? And I can actually just see, if you look closely at this horse, he looks like, oh no, I need to put the brakes on. And then this guy goes flipping forward, and that's the end of that. But it's because you haven't, if you've trained a horse, you know that somebody needs to be in charge, and you are in charge of you. So that's the lesson within there, is you need to be in charge of you. So the cards, whoa, of the yin and the yang, cards that balance one another. And this is the card of the Lovers. However, there's a sense that as it's balancing out, it's the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is so much pain and sorrow of people hurting. And so there's a sense of whether it's you or this person that is fearful, that fear comes from being hurt, stabbed in the back, tormented. You know, there's so much, and it's almost like it's just easier not to get involved in a relationship because I don't want to be hurt. I can't do being hurt. I don't want to be hurt again. And so you need to balance that out by opening up and trusting in Spirit that what's happened in the past is not necessarily going to. I actually believe that this person knows it, because you're both really, the card of the Lovers, it's typically lovers that are naked. So that means revealing openly who we are, what we are. And so the next card that comes up in perfect into the card of the meditation is the Hanged Man. Now, there's a lot of things in regards to the Hangman. The Hangman is a major arcana card, but the Hangman is also a very psychic card. If you can see within, it's at the bottom of, that's the glow, and the glow is of inner peace, finding that inner peace, and that glow is that whole aura that's around us, but it's a happy glow. So when you're in meditation, it's almost like, you know, breaking free from all of those past wounds that are really bothering you, and to own your own light. And that's, you know, align yourself with your chakras, align yourself with your divinities, align yourself with who you are, with your psychic abilities. And everybody has psychic abilities, and people choose to use them as they should, would, could, or, you know, want to. It's up to you. So when you're in meditation, or just like sitting there for a while, really, you know, calm yourself out, and really clear your chakras, and really sit there, and you can one by one go through different hurts and see how it made those hurts, or those whatever wounds made you grow. They brought you to who you are, to where you're at right now. So that's what it's about in the meditation position. So the next three cards are your heart. Wow. No, it's not. Your body, your mind, and your... I need to do it the other way. Your body, your mind, and your... card plan, and your heart. Okay, and I'm going to use the Osho. Wow, major arcana cards here, quite a few of them. So the first card in the position of your heart is the card of the Five of Wands. And with the Five of Wands, and it's kind of a funny, this is a very card, I call it a card that resembles immaturity. And it's like kids fighting. And they're not really fighting. It's like quite often it's a play fight. It's a, oh, I just got to clarify a card, and what do you get? So it's about, you know, going along with what's going on without even really knowing. So these guys are just, they're actually play fighting. They're not angry. They're just kind of, they may be pretending, but it's just what they do. Here's the thing though, the card that I'm going to say clarifies is the card of conditioning. I almost believe that this person that is in your life, or, you know, with you, and you may not quite understand it, but they're coming from a place of not feeling like they really fit in to a lot of different situations. And so rather than changing, they went in. And so they stopped a lot of things. And so they have to work on that conditioning part. And, you know, from, you know, I'd say this would go back to, you know, childhood years, and, you know, learning different things. But I do feel that somehow they felt at times alone or not like they belonged, and they had to cover up. And by covering up, it, you know, may have created a lot of defensiveness. So they are the only people that can change that into who they really are. Okay. So the card in regards to your noggin, first of all, is the card of the Star. And it's such a beautiful card, and it is clarified by the Rebel. So this card tells me right off the hop that it's the card within the heart, is that really knowing, understanding. So this is a process that has to be defined within your own mind. That being different isn't being bad, or it isn't, you know, a target. Being different is being you. And we do you, ourselves, better than anybody can. And we don't do other people very well. And so it's about finding your star and really filling yourself out with all of these messages that, you know, I am this and I know what I am. It's owning your gifts, your powers, your strengths, your leaderships, all of that. And that's in your head. So it's changing the thoughts. It's taking the thoughts and changing them. So the last card, which is in regards to your heart, and it's the Temperance card. And so Temperance is all about balance, and it really makes I did Temperance for a lot of years, and Temperance can be about you know, overindulgence, and needing to balance, or needing to, you know, take a look at your life and then finding the areas that you do need to balance out. I personally see Temperance as more as that, because it's in the position of your heart, is that you may offer or be putting more into the relationship than you are receiving back. You may not clearly see that, but if you look back, that's maybe what you're seeing. And that then becomes a choice. All three of these cards were major arcana cards. And so the card that balances the Temperance is the card of fighting. And that's because it's, you may, if I say, let's say you made the choice, okay, I need to let go. I need to let it go right now because it's just not serving me right now. They have lessons they have to learn. But that becomes an inner struggle for yourself. Am I going to make the right decision? Am I not going to make the right decision? And that just throws us right off balance. And that's why understanding that, you know, that you get to fill up your own cup, that you are a star, that you are unique, that you are in control of your emotions, and that you are completely different from anybody or everybody out there. And so to stop the fighting and finding the balance, you know, within your heart, you know, it's hard if we've been say, hurt in the past. And we don't want to be. So, you know, you may start filling up your own cup, but the sun is coming up in this. There is a very divineness in this connection. So the final card for this part of the reading is the card of the magician. And this is where you're moving to as you go through all your lessons of, you know, releasing and one by one seeing the choices that you've made, and that would be choices in regards to partners, and how they may ended up hurting you, and then going within and seeing the light within yourself and knowing, you know, what you did, what your role was, and seeing how you were conditioned in a certain way, a certain manner. This may be a manner in which, you know, you're put down as a child or bullied or some sort of thing, and then taking ownership of that and saying, hey, that may have seemed really whatever, but I am really a good person and I've done some really awesome things, and not in an ego-based way, okay? So as I keep wanting to say musician, as the magician, you want to, it's about manifesting into your world that which you really truly want. And that's by understanding and learning about yourself now, about your uniqueness, and that you are deserving, and because you are going through the process of re-understanding your past wounds and forgiveness. And forgiveness is, I'm going to say, one of the most powerful tools that we don't always, I'm going to say, we don't always understand. We say, you know, if somebody's done something really horrible, well, we can forgive, but I never forget. Well, that isn't forgiveness. You forgive, you walk away, you let go. My rules on forgiveness is very simple, and it's, I can forgive you if you've made a choice to change and you've made the steps to change. But if you're not, I can forgive you, but I'm not going to be part of your life, and you're not going to be part of my life. So that's, to me, that's very simple. So the relationship part of the reading comes up as the the female aspect, and the male aspect of the reading. And the first card on the feminine side is make the effort. And so what I'm really, actually the card says great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to. And this is somebody that really adores you. Really, 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 truly adores you. And that's what they're doing. That reminds me of a wedding I was at once, and it's like he could not stop. He walked up to the aisle and he could not stop kissing her, and we were like, just stop kissing her, but he couldn't. And they do really believe that you are the one. And again, I'm thinking they don't know what to do about it, but they do think that you are the one. But as we're getting closer, like, they are really starting to listen to you or understand the spiritual connection within this, spiritual relationship within this connection. So the three cards on the feminine side are perfect. The first card is the card of boundaries. And so that's so important, especially when we've been wounded or hurt, because we need to set up that we're not going to be in that position where we are going to be hurt. Nobody wants to be in that position. So it's being clear about your boundaries and where you want. So clear boundaries allow you to protect yourself, and nurture your intentions and follow your true self. And as you create boundaries, and you can create them, take them down, recreate them. You always have to know your core values, but the boundaries, they always have to be there. Like, no, that's just not what you can do right now. That's not it. And I've had a lot of long conversations with people in regards to boundaries in the last couple of months, and just because of COVID, but understanding of boundaries and, you know, allowing each person to go through what is necessary that they need to go through. And we don't know what somebody has been through. So if there's, you know, a boundary that we cross that we're really not, or we may have felt rejected, it may be for a reason that we didn't understand. So it's setting clear boundaries, but it's also a conversation. Okay, so make sure as you're setting those boundaries, it's also about know what your core values are and don't compromise on those core values. It's never a good idea to compromise on your core values. Again, I've had many conversations with people over that in the last while. So the card in position on the feminine side is inner guidance system, and it's in the challenge position. And so where we came up with the, you know, High Priestess, and it's trusting in, so it's this whole area, all our upper chakras, as in our sacral chakra, it's not our sacral, it's our solar plexus chakra attached to our heart chakra, which is attached to our throat chakra, and really embracing that and believing in that and allowing that intuitiveness to guide us and allowing that intuitiveness to give us the best answers. They'll always come when we're in a calm, radiant place within. And sometimes we have to be really quiet for a really long time to get the answers. And if we don't, it's also important to understand that we can also, while you're waiting for these answers, keep living with joy, okay? The final card is Quiet Nourishes Me. So that's telling me that you really need to respect your private time, and you need to re-energize. You need to re-nourish. Just reflect, I like these re-questions, in a very calm, quiet way, and just ask and then sit and listen, and then the answer just will come to you. But and that's very similar to that inner guidance card. So as a challenge, that's where you're leading to, is to understanding that how important quiet is. And so the masculine messages to you are, I am obsessed with your body. Nice. And you can kind of add, I know this is a picture of children, but kind of forget this. You can see this because this person really does love this person. It's like you can't wait to, you know, be with them. And she's like, whoa, this is interesting. But very obsessed with you. And you are very special. Their next message to you would be, love, the Ace of Cups. So this person is very much, I want you, and more that say, you already know. It's the person that you're with. And it said in the beginning, the masculine side said, this could be the one. So that would be, to me, saying this is probably like, make it an effort, give it a chance. Do the work. Go back and listen to what work you may need to do, what you may need to release in order to be the best version of you, who you are, and where you're going, what you truly want in life, out of life, based on your values. So thank you very much. Pile number 3. I'd say namaste and have an incredible day or a couple of days. And I wish you the best in love and in luck. And if you liked the video, then like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a particular reading that you wanted, comment on that and I can see if I can do it. And as well, I just thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Okay, see ya.